XRP's long-term outlook remains positive, according to Analyst. The renowned trader and analyst, Michael van de Poppe, praised the price performance of XRP following the positive outcome of its SEC lawsuit. In the post, the analyst revealed that the remittance token was able to erase losses of 15 months in just 24 hours after the verdict in what he calls a bull breakout. Also, we will discuss about XRP price to reach $3 according to this analysis. Hello everyone and welcome to our channel, where we talk about the latest updates on XRP and the cryptocurrency world in general. If this is your first time watching one of our videos, we happily send you a special welcome. We invite you to hit on the notification bell so you never miss another video. We are announcing that this channel has a giveaway of 200 XRP. To stand the chance of participating, all you have to do is simply subscribe to the channel, like this video and comment with the hashtag XRP, and the winner will be announced today at the end of the video. Additionally, Van de Poppe suggested that investors should allocate their capital wisely in the future, implement a dollar-cost averaging approach, and not be influenced by friends and social media. He concluded the tweet by sharing that a long-term outlook will be key and investors should just hold onto their XRP holdings. At press time, the cryptocurrency was trading at 70 cents according to CoinMarketCap. This was after the altcoin printed a 24-hour loss of 0.51%, which also pushed its weekly performance further into the red zone to minus 3.13%. In addition to weakening against the dollar, XRP was also outperformed by the two market leaders Bitcoin and Ethereum over the past 24 hours. On July 13, 2023, Ripple's multi-year lawsuit with the SEC concluded, and it was ruled that XRP is not a security. This resulted in a 70+% rally in the 24 hours that followed. During this period, the altcoin's price climbed from a low of 46 cents to a high of 93 cents, flipping the resistance level at 68 cents into support as well. It then closed the daily candle at 81 cents. Traders continued to take profit on July 14, 2023, and pushed the remittance token's price back below the key level at 76 cents. Sellers then attempted to push XRP below the recently flipped 68 cents mark, but bulls defended the support and persisted to boost XRP's price to just above the 84 cents resistance. However, XRP was unable to close a daily candle above this point. The rejection from 84 cents saw XRP decline in the following couple of days, breaking below 76 cents once again. Over the past week, XRP has been in a consolidation phase between 68 cents and 76 cents, where it continued to trade at press time. Ripple's summary judgment victory adds complexity to Howey test analysis. The recent summary judgment in favor of Ripple in the ongoing XRP versus SEC lawsuit has ignited discussions and debates among legal experts and enthusiasts worldwide. At the center of the controversy lies the Howey test, a crucial legal standard used to determine whether a transaction involves an investment contract and falls under securities regulations. In a new podcast by On the Chain Live, Jeremy Hogan raised the question of whether the Howey test has been consistently applied in determining whether XRP should be classified as a security. Hogan acknowledged that, despite nearly 80 years since the inception of the Howey test, there is still no clear case law providing definitive guidance on the matter. While some legal minds assert with confidence that XRP is undoubtedly security, others have reservations, citing the lack of decisive legal precedent. During the conversation, Hogan also addressed the views of different commentators and public figures on the ruling. Notably, Gary Gensler, the chair of the SEC, has remained silent about the Commission's next steps following the summary judgment. This silence has left the legal community pondering the implications and uncertainties surrounding the issue. Hogan emphasized the value of diverse perspectives and welcomed non-legal opinions, recognizing their validity. He said, "I don't think that these people are crazy that are coming out and saying no, that's not the right ruling. I just think they're wrong, but I don't think this is something that you could say, well, you're just crazy if you don't agree with what Judge Torres said. I think that there's an argument to be made on both sides. I just think that the Judge Torres argument is much stronger and makes a lot more sense." As the XRP versus SEC lawsuit continues to unfold, the discussion surrounding the Howey test and the classification of XRP as security remains at the forefront. Legal experts and the cryptocurrency community alike eagerly await further developments to gain clarity on this significant and complex matter. Also, Deaton agrees with Mark Cuban, says SEC winning on appeal doesn't mean outright victory. Attorney Deaton is confident that Judge Torres will still give the same ruling in the Ripple case even if the SEC wins on appeal. In a recent tweet, pro-XRP lawyer John Deaton reiterated that Judge Analyst Torres will still issue the same decision in the Ripple case even though the SEC's appeal is successful. Deaton made this known while reacting to a tweet by American businessman Mark Cuban. According to Cuban, SEC Chair Gary Gensler labels crypto holders as investors because it serves his purpose. Cuban raised a pertinent question, asking how many crypto projects still act as a common enterprise in the industry. Furthermore, Cuban noted that the decline in crypto investment in the past year shows that the common enterprise has ended for many tokens. Reacting, Attorney Deaton said Cuban made an excellent point. This is also why I said an appeal on Torres' ruling, even if it was successful, I don't believe it will be, doesn't lead to an outright victory for the SEC, said Deaton. Common enterprise factor is more challenging for SEC. He said Judge Torres' decision on Ripple's programmatic sales did not focus on whether a common enterprise exists between the company and the entire XRP ecosystem since the third Howey factor was not satisfied. Notably, Deaton asserted that the common enterprise factor of Howey is more challenging for the SEC to satisfy. Per Deaton, the judge excluded the SEC's expert opinion on the issue. In addition, Attorney Deaton said Ripple submitted thousands of affidavits from users who purchased XRP for non-investment purposes. Judge to issue similar decision. Recall that Judge Torres ruled that Ripple's programmatic XRP sales on digital exchanges do not constitute securities, as retail investors were not expecting to make gains from the company's efforts. It bears mentioning that the judge arrived at the ruling based on only the third factor of Howey. Since the judge issued the ruling, several securities lawyers have speculated that the Second Circuit will overturn the verdict. Meanwhile, Attorney Deaton said that even if the SEC won on appeal regarding the third factor of Howey, the Second Circuit would remand the case. This will enable Judge Torres to apply the other two aspects of the Howey test. He added that Judge Torres would likely find that the other two factors, investment of money and common enterprise, are lacking in the XRP transactions the SEC claims to be securities. In this scenario, Deaton speculated that the judge would still give the same result. Furthermore, Ripple CTO reacts as consultant says XRP ledger pathfinding causes taxable events in US. In a recent crypto Twitter exchange, Fredo Ayala, an accounting consultant with an MBA, raised an intriguing point about the implications of XRP ledger, XRPL, pathfinding on taxable events in the United States. According to Ayala, if the pathfinding results in settling a transaction within a single ledger and the prices remain unchanged between buying and selling, the tax implications primarily fall on the customer. For context, XRPL pathfinding implies finding the best way to send XRP or other assets between two accounts on the XRPL. Ayala argued that if prices shift during the pathing process, the situation becomes more complex, and the implications seem different in Europe. The accounting consultant suggested that USD-denominated payments or stablecoin-based transactions on the ledger be preferable. However, he doubts whether US GAAP or the tax code could adapt soon to accommodate these novel methods. Ayala noted that an accountant crypto CEO had affirmed his assertion. Meanwhile, Neil Hartner, a senior developer working on Ripple's on-demand liquidity, ODL, asked about a case involving a USD to Euro cross-currency payment. Ayala stated that such transactions would create a taxable event when auto-bridged using USD to XRP and then XRP to Euro. According to him, the taxable event, in this case, would arise from the sale of XRP for Euro. The net impact of this event would be determined by whether it resulted in a gain or a loss compared to the initial cost basis at the moment of purchase. On the other hand, Matt Hamilton, a former Ripple developer, sought clarification about non-blockchain payments. He cited a case where GBP is sent to BBD, but a correspondent bank converts it to USD. Ayala noted that the correspondent bank must report gains and losses due to its legal entity, unlike decentralized exchanges. However, the responsibility of the payment entity making the transfer would only involve considering the relative difference in exchange rates between GBP/BBD at the time of payment versus settlement. In response to the discussions, David Schwartz, the CTO of Ripple, noted that the obligation to report does not affect the taxable nature of a transaction or the responsibility for paying taxes. Who has to report something has no effect on whether or not it's taxable and who is responsible for paying the tax, remarked. Schwartz reiterated that profits and gains are taxable income for the party that accrues them. Finally, XRP price to reach $3 according to this analysis. Here's why. In recent discussions surrounding Ripple's native token XRP, a significant buzz has been created by an analyst's prediction about the digital currency targeting new all-time highs. The prediction stems from the apparent bullish trend in the token's price action, which seems to be asserting its dominance in the market. Will XRP price reach $3? The bullish outlook for XRP is primarily based on the development of an ascending triangle pattern in its price action. Ascending triangles are generally perceived as bullish indicators in technical analysis, suggesting a likely upward breakout. The pattern, when observed in the right market conditions, can often herald the start of a significant price rally. One of the key hurdles in XRP's way is the resistance level it needs to overcome for the bullish momentum to truly take off. Analysts believe that if XRP manages to break through this resistance level of $1, it could trigger a rally that could see the cryptocurrency reach new all-time highs, potentially reaching $3. Now we will tell the winner of the 200 XRP. The winner is on screen. Congratulations. And if you haven't won, don't worry, we will have another giveaway on August 15th. So we come to the end of this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, please make sure you like the video. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. This really helps me with the YouTube algorithm. Also, you can help enlighten others just like you have been enlightened by sharing this video to as many people as possible. Let's get this news everywhere, guys. If you are a true cryptocurrency fan, don't miss any of our content. See you tomorrow to talk about the latest news that concerns us all as a community.